Alright legends, I'm back with another video on the S15. So the last video was 650 horsepower at the wheels on the dyno, absolutely insane. And I haven't done a couple of videos for a couple of weeks. It's not like I haven't been busy working on everything, I've just been too busy to be honest. So what am I doing on this one? I'm doing flat shift on the manual gearbox, the synchro gearbox, which is pretty insane really. So I've set it all up, I've done a couple of little tests and stuff like that. I'm now refining some of the settings, but what I will do on this video is break down everything that's needed to sort of set it up and install. I'll go through some of the logs. I'm also going to take it for a drive, another drive, go get some gas, go weigh it at a weighbridge, just to double check on the weight of the car. Because I have lightened it and done a few little mods like that. So let's get into it and I'll show you how to set this bad boy up. Flat shifting, bang. Alrighty, so we're down here in the cabin. What have I installed? I've installed two items pretty much down here. You can get away with maybe just installing one of these, and the main one being a clutch digital switch. Cool. The second item I've installed, which is just a normal digital switch, that pretty much overrides it. So I can, if I want to run flat shift, I can turn it on. It doesn't start activating straight away, as long as the parameters of speed, throttle position, RPM are all sort of met. I can get to a certain rev range and I can start using flat shift. If I don't want to use it, because you won't want to use it all the time, I can just turn it off. So it just overrides it pretty much. So it's quite a smart thing to do. I'd be putting one in, I'd put one in, just put one in. And then going back down to the clutch switch, a lot of factory cars do sort of come out with clutch switches, some at the bottom of the travel, some at the top. Mine doesn't come out with one, so I've installed one and it's at the top of the travel. So when you've got the clutch pedal and you're depressing it to the ground, to the firewall, the sensor's up here. So it's off, now it's on, and now it's back off because there's a little switch that it just pushes in and out. And you won't be able to set flat shifting up if you've got a sensor down on the bottom, because if you just think about it a little bit, it won't like it. It'll be all upset when you're cutting power, it needs power on, it's just, it doesn't work. It needs to be at the top, alrighty? So there are other strategies that you can set up for this, and you might not even need to use a clutch switch, but this is the most simplest, effective, and reliable way of doing it. Just remember, we're not on a sequential dog box or anything like that. This is a standard synchromesh H pattern R154 Toyota gearbox. Cool. So it's never going to be as good as the sequentials and stuff like that, but it's still got those elements of that's still benefiting in you know, multiple ways while having a flat shift. So it's pretty cool. What else have we got? It's pretty simple really. I just run two cables from my digital switch and I pin it back to the ECU, and two cables from the digital clutch switch and back to the ECU. One of each of those goes to just ground, sensor ground, and then the other one goes to, of each one goes into the digital inputs, whatever you want to select into your ECU. So we'll jump over to the ECU now. I should give you a quick little rundown of how I've sort of like set everything up, and we're good to go, man. First of all, I'll just show you the installation of the clutch switch. So there it is there, nice and easy. So quite often with factory cars, you'll have a nice hole there because it'll have like a little stopper in it. I've just put a little nut and bolt there. It's got a thread on it, so you'll see this. There you go. There's that little black switch inside. Closed, open, closed. And then I've just pinned it back to the ECU. So as you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory really. Clutch goes down, disconnects, activates the digital switch, and then all the way to the bottom, then you come back, bam, she's back on again, and you have full power. And then just want to highlight as well, I've got a 350Z drive-by-wire accelerator pedal in here. Bolts up to the factory positions, and then you just pin that back to the ECU as well. quick little look at my digital switches. Pretty easy really, all I've got set up. These are just from J-Car electrics. They're just, they're super cheap. They're like a couple of bucks each, probably not even that. This one here I've got set up, this is a three-way switch. This is low boost, medium boost, and high boost. And then I've got my launch control, and then I've got flat shift. So it's pretty cool really. I'm probably gonna need a few more switches if I keep carrying on putting all these features in, but it's pretty cool really. Love it. Okay, I'm not going to bore you too much with this, and if anybody wants to know any more information about how to set this up on the Link G4, just you know what to do. Just send me a little message or comment or whatever it is. How I've got it set up, remember I said before I've got a clutch switch and just a manual override switch. So what happens here is my digital input 3 is my manual override switch, and my digital input 6 is my clutch switch. And then how I've set that up is a virtual auxiliary. For the virtual auxiliary, we'll turn on the actual ignition cut for the flat shift itself. So that'll be doing all the work, and how this turns on to turn that on. This needs to be present and this digital input needs to be present. So what it's saying here is digital input 6 and digital input 3 need to be present at the same time, and then it'll literally cut power to the engine. I'll have the throttle body open, and then as soon as this clutch switch is disengaged, power comes back on. So that's how it's set up really, and I can change on these two settings here how aggressive I want the return of the power to come back in, and which is on this one here, and then how much of ignition cut that and a percentage that we want to happen between the gears. But what I do really want to show you here is my logging. So I just want to highlight a couple of things here. This is my RPM of the engine, and you'll see this wave here. I'm not revving it right out, but this is possibly second gear, third gear, and fourth gear, right? And then this is my boost curve. So this is my map setting. So it normally comes up like this. And then what it would normally do, this is the amazing part about it, is it would normally drop in between gears. It would drop down to about here and then have to ramp back up. And then changing gear again, it would drop all the way down and have to ramp back up. So you can see here already that, and I'll show you a version of when you're just doing it normally as well, so you can see. This is like, it's not losing much boost at all. Which is absolutely amazing. This is just my wheel speed. This here you can see here, this is my throttle position. So the butterfly, and you can see it's open the whole entire time, and this is my clutch switch engaging. So that's second to third, and you can see it takes a little bit more time than going from third to fourth, or yeah, second to third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth. And that's probably what it is. So second gear, third gear, fourth gear, and then fifth gear there. Cool. Okay, now on this log here, this is just our first and second gear, but you can see how aggressive the boost tapers off. See what I mean? So instead of it being a nice sine wave, you know, because the throttle closes, boost cuts right off, and then it has to ramp all the way back up. See, before it was just going and just dropping a little bit and then staying on boost. So that you can see straight away that's the main benefit of going to a flat shift. Hallelujah! All right, since I'm going to the weighbridge on this drive, I'm going to take some of the weight out of the boot. This is the drag light. weighbridge, see what this puppy weighs. Full tank of gas to the max. Hey brother, just weighing the car, man, if that's cool. Just weighing the car. Thanks, boys. Okay, so 1420 is the weight with me in it. Third into fourth. Sounds gangster. Shit, and it does thump back in. There's no doubt about that. She's a bit thumpy. Jesus, it's fucking intense. Alright. Okay, here we go. I think I might have lit up there in a second because I don't have all the weight in the boot anymore. And I don't have my tire pressure right down, so yeah, oh well. Now what I'll try now is no flat shifting, so we can compare it. Definitely a lag in there. Could have been a little bit better on the second to third, maybe, but there was definitely a lot of lag there compared to the flat shifting. We'll check the logs, man. Let's try and do first. Okay. Woo! Damn. Cool. So, since I don't have the 80 kilos of sandbags in the boot and I don't have my tire pressures down to 18 psi cold, she doesn't like to hold grip now. And the logs will show that. Peace. Okay. I reckon that came up pretty good. So on-road testing is a good plus. Sounds awesome, goes really well, boost is on instantly. So there's some great benefits from that. I don't think it's doing any damage to the gearbox because it's cutting power just like you normally would and only reapplying it once the clutch pedal's back out. So as long as my shifts are nice and clean, I don't see why it's doing any damage. Really happy on the boost response side of things. I do need to fine tune some of the settings and maybe takes a little bit of slack out of the clutch pedal just to sort of bring down those shifting times a little bit. To be honest, I'm not the best shifter in the world either, you know, so some people can shift even quicker. I'll show you the logs now, just a quick little brief sort of rundown. And I think that's this video done. So let us know in any comments, if you could share it, subscribe, do all that type of stuff, that beautiful stuff. Yeah, and if you got any concerns, any tips, any questions, put it in the comments and I'll be happy to respond to all of them. No drama at all. Oh, she's looking beautiful, isn't she? Look, it's just meant to be, isn't it? Oh, tell me what you think of that. Bloody gorgeous. The GTR's looking sexy too. Look, ooh, engine's nearly built. Got the second fuel video coming out in a couple of days. But what are we here for? We're looking at the logs. So, this is the log of my acceleration, my boost. This is the wheel speeds, different wheel speeds. And then we've got, so this log that you can see right here, this is me changing gear normally. So this is my throttle body. So you can see I'm coming off throttle and then back on when I'm changing gears. And this is my clutch switch. So what I'm trying to highlight here is my boost comes up in I think this is second gear. Boost comes up, and then when you change gear, look how much it drops drastically. And you can hear it in the video on the testing where I've just done a normal shifting, second to third, maybe to fourth gear, or it is into fourth gear test. And then this is the main, I'll just slide across here. This part of the log here is, this is when I've done first, second, third, and I've lit up the wheels and stuff like that. So you can see here, this is the thing to be looking at. Look at my boost curve. Instead of it dropping all the way down and rebooting back up, it just like a little sine wave, just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm sure with a few more sort of tweaks on the settings, you can refine that a little bit more. And then as you can see here, I'll just move this. This is where first gear wasn't too bad because I rolled on, and then I smacked second gear and it started to light up. Then third gear started to take off, because this is the blue's the undriven wheels, so the chassis, and then the yellow there, or the orange, is the driven wheels. So there's the difference. And then you can see on this part here, this is where I've kept the throttle completely closed, and I've used the clutch to disconnect torque to the wheels. And there you have it. So I don't think you need to be Einstein to be able to see a huge difference compared to this one I just showed you before. Look at the boost. Look at that. Man, it just looks super lazy, doesn't it? Cool. Hope you like. Leave some comments, guys. Peace.